Hi guys, I'm back with another video after really long, and this time around it's a work related video as to what I do for a living. And I asked you guys on Instagram the kind of questions, whether you would be interested in knowing what I do for a living. And I think like 87% of you said yes, we would want to see more content, we'd want to know more. So, and then right after that, I had put up this Q&A wherein I asked you guys whether there'd be questions you'd want to ask me. So I'm here and I'm going to answer all of them. And if you're here on YouTube, please do consider subscribing. And if you are here on my Instagram, then please do follow me if you don't already. So let's get started. So, since I only have one phone and I'm shooting on it, so I've written down all the questions over here, and I'm pretty excited to answer them for you. I'll just give you a slight background. So my background is I have studied graphic designing and advertising, and I run a marketing, advertising, and graphic design company called Brandonama Creative. But keeping all those things aside, I would say they'll say I am a designer. I'm a graphic designer, and I think, like, I don't know why I'm mentioning this. I'm just kind of remembering it today. But the first client I ever worked on was Forest Essentials, and of late I have worked a lot in the hospitality, skincare sector, and that is something that I really enjoy. I had studied, my course was called Advertising and Graphic Design, and after my graduation, I had worked at a top leading ad agency. And after that, I worked at many graphic design studios before I started this venture, my own advertising agency, with my now husband Sandeep, and that was back in 2013. So that is my background, and I'll start answering the questions now. Tanvi asks, okay, so what do you do? We talk so often and I do not know. I think I already answered that. I am a marketing, design, advertising professional and also an entrepreneur. I also run my own coffee brand, and I post about it pretty often. It's called the Dark Rose Company. So you can have a look at that. That's what I do for a living. So the next question is from Simon.17. Are you a freelancer or you work for some company? I have already answered that as well. The first one or two projects I picked up while I was still in my third year of college. That was the only time I did freelance work. And apart from that, I have worked at McCann Erickson. It's an ad agency, and I have worked in quick succession with like 2-3 graphic design studios in New Delhi, NCR actually. So that's about it. I'm not a freelancer and I do not work for any company. We are a separate entity, work with different clients. Yeah. Next question is, how stressful is it working for corporates? Is it as stressful as we've heard? So Simon, the answer to that is yes, it is stressful, and in my opinion, it's a stress leading nowhere, because if जितना आप काम स्ट्रेस के बिना कर सकते हो, because of the hierarchy, because of how clients have certain relationships with the client servicing team in an ad agency, how the client servicing team will be dealing with the creative team, and everything put together, the entire hierarchy of things, there is a lot of stress involved. But which is also one of the reasons why I did not want that kind of a lifestyle. I felt that मैं उतना ही काम और उससे better quality का काम minus that stress deliver कर सकती हूँ. तो मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम एड एजेंसी में भी काम नहीं करा, and corporates otherwise also like have this tendency of I don't know whether I should be saying it here, but I'm just being as candid as possible. They have a tendency of feeling pretty superior. So there are a lot of times they instill a lot of deadline related stress and other kind of stress, which if they understood that we creatives and we marketing team people could actually deliver better without that kind of stress, I think that would work out better. But yeah, I do feel like corporates काफ़ी ज़्यादा फालतू में stressful बना देती हैं situation को. So yeah, I think I hope that answers your question. Next question, again by Simone. What would your top three skills be for anyone who should be entering the marketing and advertising field? Okay. यार ये कैसा क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया? Top three, like I think it totally depends कि even in an advertising agency or a marketing team of any organization आप कौन से team में काम कर रहे हो? Like when I was in the design team, and right now because I'm running my own thing, I have to do everything, from the content to the design to the conceptualization, breaking down the client briefs, being in touch with the client. So उस सेंस में आई थिंक इन मार्केटिंग ऑफ कोर्स लाइक कम्युनिकेशन, गुड कम्युनिकेशन हेल्प्स इन मोस्ट फील्ड्स दीज डेज. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, I know most corporate लोग ये नहीं बोलेंगे, but I do feel that a huge skill set is that you learn work and personal life balance early on, so that you're enjoying your life, you're relaxed, and thus you can like deliver better work. And I think the third would be बहुत ही easy होता है when you get into especially a big organization to try and fit in terms of like the creativity of the project itself, the human being you are, like don't lose that, and you should be taking something into the organization versus going and fitting in completely and just becoming an extension of that brand. So I think that is something I wish I knew when I was right out of college. I think I'll just elaborate a little on the third point, that जैसे कि अगर आपको कॉन्फ्रेंस हॉल में आप अपने सीनियर्स के साथ बैठे हो एंड ऑल, एंड यू गेट an idea that you feel is worthy of taking to the team, and काफ़ी बार लगता है कि should I stay quiet about it, maybe it isn't good enough. And personally मेरे साथ ये like school time में भी होता था, whenever like I would know the answer and I'd just be like maybe I'm wrong, should I not say it and all of that. So that thing, like be vocal, don't be pushy, but be vocal, and don't hide, don't start hiding. Embrace the fact that you are this person who's getting these ideas, and a lot of times they can be very out of the box, which makes most people feel like, dude, who thinks that? But don't hide that about yourself. So yeah, that would be the third point. Okay, so the next question is one line advice for newbies. It has to be the same. Don't lose yourself. Like if I was Vasundhara, I was going into an organization or a client's office as Vasundhara. It does get pretty easy to kind of start losing yourself in that process. Don't do that, especially through the your early 20s and when you're just starting out. And another thing would be कि like बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों का ज्ञान मत चाटो. Like अपना सुनो और whatever instinct wise जो आपको सही लग रहा है आप वो करो. जिस भी इंडस्ट्री में कोई भी न्यू कमर होता है उसको पहले के 5-10 साल लोग थोप थोप के एडवाइस देते हैं. तो just like जो whatever is making sense to you, absorb that. Whatever isn't, just throw it out of your दूसरा कान or whatever. Another thing, like don't शुरू में I think सब करते हैं, but there's no great achievement in like working for very big brands. You can actually like do better work with medium-sized or smaller brands in that sense. And if you're getting like big brands your way and you want to have that on your CV, then go ahead, work on that. But yeah, be prepared for the fact that there are a lot more limitations and restrictions when it comes to big MNCs. So also like honestly, अगर मैंने सबकी सुनी होती, जो भी मेरे को जो भी advice दे रहा था like about like 7-8 years ago, my lifestyle or my routine or my profile of work would not have been this way. So I'm really glad that I just went about following my gut feeling. Okay, so Tanvi asks, how does your work day look like? Um, it's actually like मैं इतना सोच इसलिए रही हूँ because every day is there is like a fixed routine kind of a thing, but every day is different. So like whenever there is more work, we I usually like to start my work like say 12 noon, say while I'm here in Himachal, from around 12 noon to 4 p.m. So I usually work like those 3 to 4 hours. There are also days when I don't have as much work and I'm relatively free, like today, so I'm making this video. Um, and apart from that, then when there are deadlines, there's a website launch or a brand launch or something like that, then it the work spills into many more hours. Like there are times when I think like मैंने बहुत time से like 8, 9, 10 hours a day काम नहीं करा है, and I'm very very happy that way. But overall, yeah, like 4 से 6 घंटे and sometimes like 1 or 2 hours is the kind of work routine I follow. So I break my work into parts. So like बीच में जैसे खाना खा लिया, or like I have my coffee, or I work out or whatever. So I do not like to. I had this terrible habit where I'd work at one stretch, break my bones, my neck, my back, and I'm very very happy that I do not do that now. So I chop the work. Like if it's 4 hours, I'll do like 2 hours, 1 hour, and then 1 hour. And उस सेंस में इतना कोई massive structure नहीं है. Like there are times when I leave the last bits of the work for like say 2 hours before I go to bed. तो उस सेंस में काफ़ी फ्लेक्सिबल है. एंड हाँ, बट अर्लियर देयर लाइक द फर्स्ट आई थिंक 4 to 5 years of when we started this. Okay, so the electricity went, and that's just how a regular day here in the hills, especially rainy मौसम में ऐसा ही होता है. So saying was that initially when we started Brandonama Creatives, at that time we would work like 15 to 18 hours a day, and that is not advisable to anyone. Our circumstances were such that we just had to do it at that time. But अब वो compensate हो रहा है because I don't work those many hours. I'm not really in that sense a hustler on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so the next question is by Be the Sunshine 26, and she asks, I'm assuming she asks, tips to manage work and enjoy life at the same time. तो ये क्वेश्चन आपने एक ऐसे इंसान से पूछ लिया है who has had a very hard time understanding this balance and is still doing that. But then when COVID hit, I realized that most people have been struggling with work from home, and I've been working from home since 2013. So that is something, यार. I think खुद के rules set करने पड़ते हैं थोड़े, especially if you're working for yourself and you don't have a boss or an office environment. तो जैसे कि we set rules that certain time frame में ही काम करेंगे, एक certain time के बाद client की calls को नहीं उठाना है, that weekends पे हम strictly काम नहीं करेंगे. So just you gotta like jot down rules for yourself so that, and do not break them then. Be truthful to yourself. And एक point के बाद I think ऐसे हो गया था, we were just such workaholics that we made these rules and then we did not know what to do with ourselves on a weekend. So I'm very happy that I'm away from that kind of a routine and a mental frame of mind. But हाँ, that is very important. And उसके अलावा what can I think of, like so for example, like I love working, especially the design part of the work. I love designing at night. So then if I have been designing say 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., I make sure that then the next day I have the first half of the day free for myself to do other recreational activities so that I can unplug from. So that is something, यार थोड़ा like अपना खुद का discipline बढ़ाना पड़ता है, especially if you work for yourself. और वो trial and error से ही आता है, and every human being I think functions differently, and different rules would work for different people. But don't make sure to like have a schedule, and make sure to do other things outside of work that you really enjoy doing. It could be anything. It could be painting nails, it could be making videos the way I'm making right now, it could be going out for a walk or meeting friends or whatever else, but make sure to make time for that. I hope this helps. एक और चीज़ लाइक मैंने खुद नोटिस करी है, लाइक पार्टीज पे जाके यार अपने काम की बात मत करो, लाइक इट्स जस्ट रियली अनोइंग. एंड दूसरा बंदा लाइक मे बी लाइक unless they're like really interested and they work in the same field or something, they'll just be like yeah that's so cool and this and that, but you're just boring everyone, and that is just a gentle reminder. If you're doing that, it's a gentle reminder that you need to life, and just you should have more dimensions to your life than just work itself. Okay, so the next question is, this question is by my best friend, and I made it a point to cover it so that I can give my expression for this. तो ये करियर में पता नहीं कैसे आया. When are you going to have a baby? मतलब where did this come from and how? और मैं क्या पूछ रही हूँ और तुम क्या बोल रहे हो? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Next question. I'm actually very surprised किसी ने पहले नहीं पूछा मेरे से, but Chirpy Soul Girl asks, where did you do your studies from? So, right after school, I joined NIA, National Institute of Advertising, and I did my foundation diploma in design, graphic design from there. And after that, I joined Wigan and Lee College. And I completed my graduation in advertising and graphic design from there. This is not a part of the questions, but I'm the queen of making long videos and blabbering. So I just wanted to mention that I had an amazing time in both the colleges, and I'm one of those people who was very, very lucky after a very long time in school where I was just not fitting in, and I was fitting in would be the wrong term, but I was just not enjoying my school life. And in both colleges I made like amazing friends, and I had like an amazing time in college, and I just at that time loved being surrounded by people who were just like me, who were like learning design and had this hunger to just learn creativity or whatever. Okay, so my friend Nivedita Banerjee, who I am assuming has a very similar kind of a structure of life, has asked, what is the usual number of hours you work like on most days? So मैंने पहले ही आंसर कर दिया, like कभी कभी 5-6 hours, कभी कभी 0 hours, कभी कभी 2-3 hours. So on an average, like I'd say 2 to 4 hours. And through the weekdays, I don't work on weekends. Okay, so the next question is a rather candid one. The question is, how much money is there? So I'm assuming you're asking in this field, or I'm assuming that it's that. So yeah, पैसे का in terms of like running your own advertising agency, it's very difficult to answer because it's so relative. So अगर कोई salary ले रहा है, उसको पता है कि वो 20,000, 50,000, 70,000, 2 lakhs जो भी है per month, that's what they're taking. I think like this must be relatable to like most entrepreneurs out there, that some months you make a kind of amount that is unimaginable to you. It's difficult to digest, especially when you're starting off, and other months you are not as well off. So but the expenses remain constant, and there are overheads and expenses in running your own company which इंडिविजुअल की लाइफ में नहीं होती हैं, and those definitely like complicate the matter slightly. But overall, I would say that when we started, I all of a sudden started making 5 to 6 times the amount of, say, my first salary. Of course, I'm like telling you, like divided by the entire, my total income divided by the entire year. So, but yeah, it's not consistent, and that can be pretty bothersome for most people looking for consistency. Also, ये भी कोई बताता नहीं है, but like if you're running your own agency or your own company, सैलरी आपको पता होता है कि इतनी आएगी ही, इस डेट तक आएगी ही. But a lot of times with like difficult clients or just projects that did not line up the way you envisioned them to be, things get pretty shaken up very quickly. So उसके लिए हमेशा बफर रखना होता है, मेंटली भी, फाइनेंशियली भी, हर तरीके से. So yeah, like I've been happy with the kind of lifestyle this business has given me, and clearly I'm okay with the limitation of not having the consistency and planning around it, because I cannot and do not want to do a 9 to 5 job, and it's seldom 9 to 5 in this field. So I do not want to work under somebody, and I do not want to do a job. So I hope this indirectly somewhere answers your question. I hope this Q&A helped whoever is planning to get into this field. Do let me know if there is anything else you'd want to ask me, if you're enjoying this work-life part of my content. Comment below, please do subscribe or follow me on Instagram, and do share it with people who are budding designers or are looking to get into this field. Thanks, bye.